The RX7 Trike is running now, but we needed it to be driving. So we've got a lot of stuff to do this episode to make that happen. First up, we've got an actual gas tank. That'll go back here, and Sam's working on the mounts for that right now.
We got these mounts basically made up all the way now, so this little notch will fit on the frame, and then we got a little bolt plate here, so this will bolt to the clamp brackets like that, and then that will get welded there, and then we just have this little strap here because we made this out of 16 gauge, so it's nice and light, easy to dimple, but to add some strength, just put that little tab on. So I'll get this tacked on and we'll throw it on there, and that's that. Well, we got those brackets all welded up there and bolted onto the straps. So now we can see where it actually goes. Somewhere in there. And it's got all that weight set back, so that's pretty sweet.
That's another quite a few pounds behind the axle. So technically that makes less pressure on the front tire.
There you go.
It's a win-win.
The game plan is a battery tray, so I'm gonna trace that, you know, and then just fold those up on all the sides and make a couple tabs. Super basic, couple holes in the bottom to let it drain, and then there's plenty of room to fit this little guy down in here. So we'll kind of be supported by that bar, and then we'll be able to have a tab that goes to this bar. And that's on the same side as the starter, so easy for wires, and yeah, it's all hidden under there.
Side note, small miracle, that battery has been in the shop since before we started Grind Hard, and this is the first time we've actually decided to mount it in something. Yeah, that battery's for a 1978 Honda Goldwing.
We've used it to jump almost everything.
Yeah, we use it as a jumper battery all the time. We've never actually put it in anything.
Well, we got, like, you know, the frame of the battery mount, so now we just need to make the actual parts that mount to the chassis, if you will. So yeah, it's nice and sturdy and secure. And normally battery mounts, like the ones I started with, they have that dumb hook on the bottom. That drives me nuts. So we went with this, the welded to the body of it version.
There we go.
So exciting box of stuff for the Trike. We got our gas tank and battery mounted, and now we have the really good stuff. Yellow paper! Yay!
Yay!
The really good stuff here is some shiny boxes that say Willwood all over them. I don't think we've ever used Willwood anything on anything before, because we're cheap.
Yeah.
But it's time to step up the game when it comes to brakes and clutches. Yeah, sweet. Time to put these shiny Willwood brake and clutch systems onto the RX7 Trike. Got the seat bolted back on, and yeah, first step is just figuring out where to position them and getting the angles kind of right, and then build some brackets and maybe a floorboard as well, because obviously you need a place for your foot to be. So I was trying to guess at where I wanted the position of this, and I finally gave up on that and just made a really basic temporary bracket to hold it in place so I could test what it feels like when you're sitting in here. And I think actually that's a really good position. These are just some scraps here, but I'm gonna make a piece that comes down from this junction here and goes kind of down and then along the front side of this, and then just ends there, because that'll be more than strong enough to hold this up. And then I'll just have a peg that comes out of it, straight out the side, wherever is best. Got the 2 master cylinders mounted, so that's something. They need a little bit more reinforcement for side-to-side strength here, but yeah, I think it came out pretty nice. So now I'll just put a foot peg sticking out right about there on each side, and you can see if your foot was rested on that peg, you could even lean your toe over and just use the pedals like that, or if you really need the force, you can do the full stomp.
You looking
Couple
good.
of clutch kicks.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, so just went with some 1¼ inch tubing for the pegs, put it in the lathe and knurled it real quick so that it's a little bit grippier. And I think those will work. They're just tacked on there now, but you can brace yourself nicely, you know, if you're really sending it into a corner. And it puts your legs out a little bit so you can brace into the sides of the seat here. So I found a piece of brake line and a couple of banjo bolts that worked for this. One of them I had to re-thread because this is not metric, and the banjo bolts I had are, but that's all working and all bled out, and it works. Nice and easy clutch. I also mounted the ignition switch here and redid the wiring so it's all nice and loomed and tucked up in here. Wired in, and I got some wires for the battery, so it's all set up. We got a bunch of brake lines, so hopefully we'll get the brakes working today, and then all we gotta do is throw the throttle on, and then we could do a baby test drive.
Okay.
So I'm running the brake lines here, and this piece that I've run here from the T back to this flex line is a little too long, as you can see, so I've marked it where I want to cut it. And we finally, you know, after 3 years of building custom stuff, got a brake line flare tool so that we can actually cut hard brake lines to length and re-flare them. So I practiced on a random one that didn't matter, make sure I got the process down. So yeah, now it's time to slice this one and flare it out, and then we can hook it up, and at that point I should be able to bleed the brakes and see if they work. Very important step is don't forget to put the threaded end piece back on before flaring it. That would not work very well. We take the flare tool here and space the end of it out that far, and then snug that down, shove that in there. So you take this little, I don't know, whatever that piece is called, stick it inside of there, and then get that on there. And smash it down. Pull the little piece out. And then you go back on it with the squisher thing here. Squish that.
The big reveal.
Ta-da!
Boom.
And that goes back on there. This goes here.
Perfect.
And you got a brake line. All right, most exciting time, throttle time. So yeah, this is a kit, throttle kit for a dirt bike, and it's got these different sized, whatever the heck you call them, the part that twists the cable. It's a variable ratio throttle, so you can change these out for different twist ratios, which is going to be handy because we don't know exactly what the ideal ratio will be for that carburetor. Well, we have throttle now. Which is very exciting. It has a push-pull style throttle like most dirt bikes have. And it's probably going to be a good idea to set that up eventually, but this cable's not quite long enough. Yeah, we've also got, I wired up the fuel pump and hooked up the fuel lines, so fuel pump comes on with the key. And we're impatient! So, hook up the old oil cooler, zip tie it in place, check the fluids, and should be time to send it.
Every single time we test drive something, we're zip tying things together moments beforehand.
Oh yeah, every single time. It's an important step in the process, you know? It's an important part of it. Zip tie. The art of zip tying things together.
Is she gonna go?
I don't know. We're gonna find out right now, though. Yeah, we do need that return throttle. It's a little sticky.
Kicks up some dust, huh?
Yeah, luckily this thing has a good air filter. Jeez.
How is it?
Oh my gosh, it's like way better than I expected it to be at this stage, or like kind of at any stage.
There we go.
There we go. Now we can breathe. Wow, that's a lot of dust. It's been dry here. Yeah, no, I mean, it runs pretty good. Obviously it could use some tuning, but like, yeah, it's got a lot of power. The open diff is kind of annoying, you know, trying to do donuts here. It was like one tire firing, but it feels good. Like, it's very, very stable. Yeah, not as hard to drive as you'd expect. The brakes are like kind of a pump it a few times situation, so that's, we'll have to work on that. But clutch works great, throttle works great, and it didn't break, so yeah, that's call that a win.
Even in the front? How does the front feel?
Pretty good. Yeah, the steering's like, you know, if you're really if you're turning sharp and it like catches on a bump or something, it's definitely stiff, and it's just stiff all around. But it's like quite manageable, especially when you're under power, because you know weight transfer helps, and yeah, it's just good.
Yes.
Just gotta, you know, finish everything up, put the proper oil coolers on there, because that one's you know, kind of mutilated, and get some better handlebars. These ones are kind of bent because they're just ones we had laying around. And yeah, it's a beast.
We'll fix up all the little odds and ends and give it a proper test drive, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'd be really interested to get it on pavement and see what it feels like.
Oh yeah.
Because it's fast, but it's really hard to tell how fast it is when it's open diff with basically bald tires on the dustiest dust on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't exactly have an excess of traction, but it feels like it's got a ton of power. I want to tell you about the awesome sponsor of this video, Pedal. Pedal is a credit card company that wants you to succeed financially. That's why the Pedal 2 card is designed to help you build credit. Pedal has a new approach to credit. When you apply for a Pedal 2 card, and if eligible, your banking history is used to instantly create a cash score, which is a measure of your credit worthiness that can help you qualify for a Pedal card even if you've never had a credit card before. Where the Pedal 2 Visa card has no annual fee or any other kind of fees. And their app makes it effortless to track your spending, make on-time payments, and manage subscription spending, which can be easy to forget. The credit limit of the Pedal 2 card starts at $500 and works its way up all the way to $10,000, which can help keep your credit utilization low, which is key in building your credit. And one of the best parts is you can see if you're approved without impacting your credit, and it only takes a few minutes to apply online. Pedal is partnered with WebBank member FDIC, which issues the cards. As of today, the Pedal 2 variable APRs range from 12.99% to 26.99%. So start building your credit history. Go to our link in the description box below. That's pedalcard.com/GHPC, pedal with a T, PETAL, card.com/GHPC, and see if you can get approved.